sense.
Well, I'm
But
sure they make sense to the voices in their head, telling them to get into a gunfight with the cops on the side of the road. So
because of federal code
yeah,
5501.
some maritime law that we don't know about. Yeah.
It's
So you got the
funny.
comedy show going on.
Yeah, comedy show. We'll be giving. I'll give a discount code. It'll be available for 10 humans. I'll give that later on in the podcast. We've got nobody watching right now, anyway, so it'd be fucking worthless to even do it because the two people watching, Seki and Tisha, will be there anyways. But for those of you guys watching in the future, fast forward this and you'll get that discount code.
And you have 4 comedians or 5?
4 comedians.
4 comedians.
Yeah. So
Any ventriloquists? No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. I wish.
I'm such a sucker for ventriloquists. I think Jeff Dunham is funny.
Oh,
That's how much I love ventriloquists.
You would hate me for this because you hate women. But one of my favorite is Nina Condi or Conti.
I don't know if I know that name.
Oh
But
man,
I kind of feel like maybe I do.
it's fucking hilarious. But these are the what's that?
Is she so she does ventriloquism?
She does ventriloquism, but her big shtick is bringing people up, and then she puts on a ventriloquist mask on the humans. So she makes the humans talk.
I like it. It's 2025. It's time to update the show.
Shit's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyways, Mike Langworthy, he's one of the comedians. He was a writer for the Drew Carey Show, 8 Simple Rules. If you guys Google him, he's been a producer and a writer for a bunch of pretty popular sitcoms. Some sitcoms that bombed. Greg Studley, local guy, he does a lot of shows with Stormy Daniels. Actually, he goes
Really?
on the road. Yeah. So he's actually the opener for Stormy Daniels, and he helped Stormy do some writing.
I didn't know that she was doing comedy.
Yeah. She tours comedy.
That's funny.
So
she's already funny.
She's already hilarious. Have you seen all her work?
I have not.
Georgia Comstock, she's local. These two right here, Matt Cubos and Georgia Comstock, they're just regulars at Comedy Works. Just
I've seen a couple regulars at Comedy Works who were hilarious. So
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So we got general admission, $23, and then VIP tickets for $33. The $3 and whatever, those are the processing fees. So 20 and 30. So we'll be giving away a couple general admission tickets for those of you guys that are interested in that stuff. This does help us raise some funds for
the thing we can't talk about.
Dude, that's crazy.
I did get your email, but I honestly had no idea what to say. I was like,
yeah, nobody replied to that email. It's one of those emails where you send down, nobody replies. I was like, oh, I feel awesome now. I feel incredible about myself now.
I'm so popular and well liked by everybody.
It's hard to like tell yourself, no, it's just me when like fucking nobody replies to your emails. Clearly you should go hang yourself.
Well, like the thing is like I'm the kind of person that I'll look at an email, and if I don't have the answer like right,
what do you say?
My brain just says I'll deal with this in like an hour, and then I never come back to it. So
yeah.
So
I when I sent that email, I was like, I'm probably not going to get a reply because there's not a good answer to that. There's not a good answer to that, but it does help us raise funds for I guess mental health stuff. Our work in mental health, and our work right now is educating instructors on how to have an effective conversation around suicide prevention and the reduction of negative outcomes with firearms. That's kind of our role in all that stuff. I don't think we're trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to do stuff that other organizations are doing, but I think
we're just trying to like pull the wheel out of the closet and be like, how is this thing supposed to work? So
yeah.
What's up, Angel? That's not a name I recognize. So
Angel Mario Gonzalez.
new
Yeah,
person.
he's from your side.
Oh yeah, the South Side, Southsiders.
No, he's from your YouTube channel.
Oh, I was like, I guess Centennial's kind of south.
No, he's watching from
Okay,
your side.
I bring the big crowds.
You big the big brick. Yeah. You brought us one.
Brought us one.
Oh shit, we got one on Rumble. That's
What?
weird.
Rumble?
Rumble.
I didn't even know we're on Rumble.
Yeah, we're on Rumble.
Is that why you have the green behind you to match the Rumble website?
Absolutely.
So we got the comedy show. We got the we got classes. I have I scheduled my December classes. Do you have December classes?
No, not yet.
Okay, it's gonna be cold, I think, because we're getting spoiled by this good weather. So, I got classes this weekend. I'm expecting to get sunburn this weekend. It's gonna be hot. So.
I'm all about this global warming, dude. Because it's not like terribly hot, but
yeah,
it's cool,
manageable.
I'm all for it. So CO2, baby.
CO2. All right, let's get to our clickbait title.
Clickbait title.
Did you come up with
not a fucking thing? not a fucking thing.
All right. Well, I could get us started with just something funny. I saw this on the internet. Let's see, which window do I want? I want this one. And I was like, oh, I definitely have to play this.
Oh man. This brings up an awesome fucking conversation because it's fucking hilarious. I love that tactical shelf.
I'm telling you, the ending is worth it.
Oh, I hope he shoots something. Oh man.
I think his balls are showing.
Oh lordy, Lord, look at that.
Whoa, man. And all the ladies came a running. I can only take that one time. I can't watch that again.
So there's another dude, I forget what he's called, Patriot Ranch or some shit like that. And he does a bunch of knife shit, and everybody like, woo, just gaslights him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is fucking incredible. Keep it up. And it's very similar shit.
Really?
It's very, very fucking similar shit. But this kind of does remind me of there's a question that I get asked. Actually, no, I take that back. I ask a question. And often a response that I get is, "Oh, just go to the range and practice." And my response to that, when I ask what's it take to be an expert, or even the conversation of how do you choose a gun, it often comes up of I'm just going to go to the range and kind of try and figure it out. And my response to that is, okay, cool, but what do you know about guns? What do you know about self-defense? And almost always, the response is, well, I know very little. So it's like, so you're going to go to the range, awesome, and you know nothing or very little about guns, and then you're going to go do what you don't know, and then how do you know you're getting better? Like what's the feedback? What's the
Well, you get faster. That's how you know you're getting better. I mean, that guy was going really fast.
Super fast. Like if you put him on a timer, dude, sub 1 second, easy.
He probably did 2 or 3 reps in under a second.
Dude, fast. and this is why I can no longer take serious people who talk about dry fire. I can no longer take serious people who say, I just go to the range and I try and figure it out. Like you can't. Like there's no feedback. There's nobody. And some people innocently, and I get it, respond, well, like I shoot better. Like I'm hitting the target better. Like that's not the same as understanding why you got better. Because all I have to do is just correct the muzzle and then I'm gonna hit the fucking target. Like your brain knows how to do that shit. But why did you fuck up to begin with? Was it a stance issue? Was it a grip issue? Was it a trigger discipline issue? Like, what the fuck was it? You're not corrected. You're not figuring it out. So every time you go to the range, guess what you're having to do? Reset that shit every single time because your brain doesn't understand what the fuck you're fucking up.
And the things that you think you're doing successfully, very likely are negative habits. And I don't mean like, people use training scars and stuff. It's like you don't even understand where the risk of what you're doing is. I've got another video I'm going to show you just right now, kind of on that topic, because this guy looks a lot more serious than the last guy does, but we have the same problem here. And wait, nope, this one. There we go. All right, and all right. So this dude, this guy's going to do a sub 2-second bill drill. Never mind that we don't get to see how far away the target is or how he shot or anything, but let's leave that aside. So I'll just make this bigger since I can, and tell me like what stands out the most from this. Like, what would you, if you were seeing somebody in a class, even though you're not doing time?
So if I was behind him,
mm-hmm.
and I seen him go back, as soon as he did this,
Mm-hmm.
boom, pause it. As soon as he started doing that, I'd probably find an empty casing somewhere and chuck it at his head. And a lot of people get upset at that, but like when something hits you in the head and you're not expecting, you're gonna like look around like what the fuck is going on. Now your brain is on the item that just hit your head,
right?
And you're no longer doing this stupid pose because now you're in anticipation of the beep.
Yeah.
You're
and
no
by the way,
longer.
I didn't pause it with his hands in the middle of an action. His hands are just resting like
Yeah,
that.
they're
Like,
fucking.
I'm moving the cursor and his hands are just
John Wayne.
totally natural. I'll tell you what I noticed first when I watched this was this part.
His shitty hands
is the mechanical and way too fast and not looking at his holster when reholstering the gun.
When reholstering, yeah.
So because this is like I want to be an Instagram hero right
Correct.
here. And I mean, I noticed a bunch of other things as well, but I was like, why are you just not taking the time to look at your holster? You're not penalized on your stupid little timer. Just look,
to reholster. Yeah.
Slow down. And I see a lot of people on Reddit posting their timer masturbation. And I would say at least half of them, probably more, are jamming that gun back into the holster without looking, going fast, and unnecessarily increasing the risk because the focus is simply on performance. And that's the thing is like, you don't even get extra points for doing that. It's like, but the focus is in the wrong place and the behavior is unnecessarily risky. So
yeah, and it's shit like this. It's shit like this. This is a perfect example of that anybody can replicate. Like anybody can replicate that shit. It's a very easy thing to do. Like fucking up is really easy. It's super fucking easy. The problem is understanding. One is it in context? Because that's a big one. Is this going to be in context? Can I apply this in a real fight? And a lot of people will argue I can. Like that's not how fights go. I've never seen somebody fucking posture and then go to the gun. It's always been an oh shit, I need to hurry up and draw the gun.
Well, certainly, I would put a caveat on that, but I would say certainly not in a defensive position.
Fair.
Offensive,
yeah.
and where we get the most amount of video of that is badge cams.
Yeah.
And the argument is like, well, it's still defensive. It's like, well, it's kind of not the same. and a lot of times the officers have their guns out and pointed. They're working up to the need to shoot,
Yeah.
rather than not having as much surprise associated with it. Like, there's some surprise, but it's not quite as drastic as most self-defense scenarios.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, in defense, it's definitely not even a little bit the same, in this particular area.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's like,
it's difficult and it's frustrating as man, fighting the popular shit is rough, man.
mhm.
Now we know how Jesus feels because this is obviously
You heard it here first.
because obviously this is exactly what Jesus went through.
Yeah, I mean, um, but I think that when you have video to help back it up, it's helpful, but at the same time, um, it's still hard to get, I think, people to see the videos for what they should be seeing them for, rather than just
Correct.
like, "Oh, it worked." Like, well, like we watched that video last week of the guy who's standing there shooting instead of doing any kind of movement, and
Correct.
um, it's like, well, yeah, you hit the bad guy. That's not the whole picture of using a firearm. So,
Well,
uh,
and I was gonna say something smart, and I forgot. Oh, and
and I forgot.
I now forgot. Now I remembered. And it's very easy to say, well, yeah, that's what I look like. So obviously it's awesome
Hmm.
because that video looks just like my video. And it's understanding like, yeah, you guys all fucking suck. Like this is not a positive. This is all shitty.
Yeah,
This is actually not a good thing in any way, shape, or form. So it's fighting that. Well, somebody did something like me, and it's just the confirmation bias. It's we all do it the same, and it very easily falls into like, no, that's just the way it's done. I do it this way because the internet people do it this way.
well, all the performance shooters will tell you that dry fire is important.
Yeah, all of the performance shooters.
Mhm.
Yes, yes,
And also it goes, we have to remember that somebody who wins a defensive encounter will credit something that may or may not have actually been helpful, their
correct,
own understanding or misunderstanding of what happened
correct.
and why and how. Um, and we're leaving aside the subjective things that you can't know. Um, but if we like, I'm trying to find a video of an example of somebody standing still, not preparing, for movement, and basically making themselves an easy target and then winning the fight. And you're like, see, it works. It's like, well, it worked that time,
That
but
one time,
there was an opportunity to improve your chances of winning
correct,
that fight.
correct.
Um, and this is not to say that, somebody who was in a self-defense situation, that you're sitting there and being like, you're an idiot. I know you won, but you're an idiot.
We're
The
just
point is to take the evidence that we have and say, how do we improve our knowledge and understanding and our training based on what we know about attacks and the human body and the performance of the firearm and all that stuff. So,
people get super mad, yeah, because I play that video of that lady, um,
oh, the home defense one.
the home defense one, and I always have to add that I'm not advocating for what she did
Hmm.
because she did a lot of dumb shit. I just want to the show certain things and like let's look at this video for what it is. Don't try and replicate what she did because it was stupid, right? Coming out of the room, chasing the bad guys, all that shit.
Blasting
Uh,
one-handed.
like all kinds of shit that she did that she shouldn't have done. It worked out. Like,
Mhm.
yay, whoever she prays to, fucking on it that day.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was on it that day. I credit that more. Like if you believe in deities and shit like that, whatever it is you believe in, luck, whatever, was there that fucking day.
Yeah.
She won in spite of herself, and but a lot of people are like, "Well, no, that's what I would have done." I was like, "Yeah, well, hopefully, hopefully you're just as like maybe, hopefully you lit as many candles as she did that day."
Yeah, and, like, Oh, I was gonna say something smart too. Oh, and a lot of this is like the reason why we're having this conversation is because if we're going to use this information to train better and to learn better, then we should be doing it right. Um, a lot of times, the things that we're talking about are kind of minute details in many ways. Like if you do this instead of that, if we could put a number on it, we'd say, this would give you like a 0.06% better chance of doing the right thing in the right moment. So we're a lot of times we're kind of going for the edges of um, what we can get an advantage in the fight. The biggest thing is that you have your firearm available if you need it. You have it accessible if you need it, and that you know how it functions and how it works. Like if we're
Yeah.
looking at overall data of self-defense shootings, I've gotten into this argument a couple times lately with people saying that if you don't have training, you're going to die. I'm like, well, the the data does not support that in any
Not
way.
even a little bit.
It's not even a little bit. But if we're going to say it's a life and death fight, and if we're going to prepare for that life and death fight, and we're going to use data or science or video or anything like that, then we should make the attempt to draw the right conclusion and then train appropriately from that correct conclusion. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get like, well, you say I should do this, but I don't really want to. And is it really going to matter? Like, well, we have no idea if it's going to matter or not. But you're here, you're taking the time to get your concealed carry permit. I'm taking the time to instruct. We're going to do this the right way.
Correct.
And if you're not convinced of it, I mean, fine. It's no sweat off my balls if you get your face shot off in a shooting. But since we're having the conversation, let's do it as right as we possibly can. And even that understanding that over time the information improves. So something that we thought was right 10 years ago, and now we're like, well, that may not be as right as we thought it was, or maybe completely off.
Correct.
So
do you include an after the fight look around step in your training? There's an assessment for sure. Scanning. I don't know what you mean by like an actual step. We do
look around.
incorporate. we do definitely do lateral motion, and we do an assessment. And I don't know if it's the correct way of characterizing it this way, but we almost encourage an assessment before shooting the bad guy. I don't like. I don't know if I want to say that that's exactly what it is, but what the brain does is, again, that dude that was like hyper fixated on the shot. He was just he was just ready for that timer to go off, and then he goes. I would sincerely throw something in his direction, maybe hit him with something, not to hurt him, but to get his brain to think about something else. So when he thinks about that, then you would say the command. And then now he has to look at the target before. It's a processing of information, right? That's part of the cognitive process.
And processing of information in the context
Correct.
of what kind of information is relevant, and how the brain tends to perceive it when the sympathetic nervous system is engaged.
Correct. Yeah. So it's even before. We don't really call it an assessment or a scan, obviously, but it's definitely, you have to look at the target first, because this is one thing that is consistent across the board is people will look first, even if it's just for a tiny split second, and then go to the gun. You will not see people go to the gun as they're looking, because that's the brain hasn't processed, oh fuck, I need to get to the gun. And that's the problem with one of the problems with the timer, is that the timer gets you to believe that your response to a stimulus is go to the gun. And the answer is maybe, like, maybe the appropriate response is run like a little bitch, duck, whatever. And the brain will not do that until you have processed the information. So it's kind of look first, shoot, or grab gun, defend. and then afterwards, yeah, definitely do a scan or an assessment. And our scan and assessment is it's not we're not the only people that does this, but ours is more of you have to look for a unique change in the environment, preferably humans scratching, whatever, going digging into their pockets. And that's actually the stimulus that would get you to look at the next target and then shoot if necessary.
And when I do that, I try to get people to put in context the behaviors they're observing because it's easy to I get this one a lot. So I'll ask somebody, John, after you finish shooting at your threat, what did you assess about your environment? And John will say, I saw she was done with the drill. And I say, ain't no fucking drill at Starbucks. What was she doing? And it was, the gun was moving back towards her body. Okay, so we take that gun moving back towards the body is a less aggressive stance with the firearm than a gun extended towards the body. So try to get them to place what they're witnessing or assessing into the context of what if this was at Starbucks? What does this information mean to me or not mean to me?
Yeah.
So I trained for the go for the gun as I look. I need to apologize to a lot of Starlink. That reminds me of those memes that were going around for a little while. It was basically like, people talking about being at like a paintball field, but they forgot that they were using a real gun or something. I can't. Anyway, they made me laugh when I first saw them. Shoot till you're empty and then go to the knife, and then everybody at the paintball field's like, what? Project 1868. Geez, I can't get that right. Good evening to you as well. What is that Project 1868? I'm not familiar with 18.
And then Joseph, what up?
And Joseph, yeah. So I know 1868 was part of Reconstruction, but I don't know much else. So help me out with that. Tell me what that is. In the meantime, I have another video that kind of demonstrates what you were just talking about.
Let's should I give the discount code for the free tickets?
Yeah, do it up.
So for those of you guys that are interested in attending our comedy show, it's not a Guns for Everyone comedy show. I am putting it together. It's something that I'm hosting, raising funds for mental health stuff. lagrangemedia.com/comedy. I have a total of 10 tickets that we can give away, preferably one per person, but I'm not going to monitor that. It's just the honor system, I think. The idea is you have a ticket and then you buy another one for somebody else. You're plus one, but again, I'm not going to monitor that. So GFEN POD. So GFEN pod is the discount code, and that gives you one general admission ticket. That is the discount code. If you guys want to show up to that, you should want to go to that comedy show. I'm working on, before the comedy show, having a cornhole tournament.
Oh, snap. I freaking love cornhole.
Dude, you know how many white people get excited when I...
Did you know that the cornhole is broadcast on ESPN?
No, we are going to live stream the tournament and the comedy show.
Nice.
So I'm thinking about beforehand doing a cornhole, just a small little tournament to raise even more funds. There will be alcohol at the place, so you guys can get drunk while playing cornhole at the beginning. Just the cornhole isn't 100%, but I'm almost positive as many white people get excited about the fucking cornhole, I think that's going to be more successful than the fucking comedy show at this point.
Yeah. So Joseph, you have two accounts, Project 1860. I cannot get that right. And Joseph, or is there two Josephs in here? 14th Amendment. Yes. Okay. Part of Reconstruction. Gotcha. All right. So comedy show, December 20th. And that's up in the Westminster area.
Yep.
Okay. And what is Lagrange? What is that?
Lagrange Point Media is my fucking hobby production website design company. But Lagrange Point Media, if you guys look it up, Lagrange Point is a point. We've got 5 Lagrange points. This is generally where you set satellites up in space, because it's a point between 2 bodies where the orbit is stable and it doesn't get yanked too much one side or another.
Look at you, all freaking brainiac. I never
So
heard that before.
yeah, a Lagrange point. A lot of our telescopes get put into Lagrange points, so that we don't have to adjust it too much. The orbit itself is pretty stable. So yeah.
Well, in New England, a Grange is a meeting hall. So
Yeah. We have a Grange here in Westminster.
Oh, really?
The Grange, yeah. No, it's Lagrange.
Lagrange. All right.
Yeah, Lagrange.
All right. Anything else for the discount code?
Nah.
Nerd alert. Yeah. Thank you. I thought I was the only one.
No dick for you, Letitia. No dick for you.
Wait, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to show this other video because it does illustrate the point you were just making here. So we got a little street robbery going on here. And apparently this dude's getting robbed, but this guy decides he wants to get robbed too. So he puts his hands up like, "Whoa, rob me. You're going to rob me." But you're going to see the guy in the blue here. And I'm calling this out because it's kind of hard to see the first time by yourself. This guy down here in the blue is going to be the one with the defensive response.
Is he just shooting random people?
that was the first thing I thought too. But first and foremost, we always got to acknowledge the startle reaction. Boom, he shoots, and even people who are looking at or what's about to happen. This guy, his vision is this direction. He still brings his arms up a little closer, leans away from the sound of the gunshot, and sits here and just watches the whole thing happen. Finally gets up at this point. So when we're training that, well, let me get back to what I was talking about. First, the assessment. So our bad guy is here with a gun. Now we can't see off camera, so we don't know all the things that our shooter here is observing. But he goes from shooting this guy until he falls down to immediately over here, and it's hard to tell if he fires or not at this guy. But this guy actually never did anything. He didn't pull a weapon. He didn't he didn't even go towards our defender here. He just crashed his motorcycle and then took off running. Was he an accomplice? Probably was an accomplice. Was he somebody that needed to get shot? I don't see any evidence here that he had a reason to shoot him.
Not even a little bit.
And again, we have to remember, like, we're not there. So I'm not seeing everything this guy saw. But it does bring home the point that you could have somebody who's part of the attack, but who is not somebody that actually needs to be defended against, especially once the shooting actually starts. Because he may have well had a gun here, like on his person, and may well have been planning to use it, but the moment the shooting's starting, he's taken off away from the attack. So that's part of that assessment is what we're trying to instill in the student is that you need to take in meaningful information and make the best decision you can based off of that meaningful information.
Yeah.
Recognizing that your perception is reality. So things that you think are true may not be true, but you have nothing else to work with other than what you are perceiving. But how do we improve what you're perceiving to be more accurate? So,
yeah.
So there was that. And then our guys at the table here who knew this was a robbery from the beginning really, because they're watching this guy get gun pointed at him. This guy right here does not seem to be concerned really much at all that there is a gunfight happening right behind him.
What's he? Did he think he got shot?
Possibly.
He got a sex cramp. It's like, my kidney.
I mean, he can't be that badly injured. He's runs over and kicks the guy. So
he fucking kicks him. Shit's awesome.
He's like, I'll just wait my turn. I'm gonna go over and kick this guy's ass a little bit.
Fucking incredible.
And then you have two, like, these guys are running into what could be considered still an active gunfight. Because this guy was armed, he's still moving. Good guy is shooting at him, and these dudes just run straight into this active gunfight. Not a lot of self-preservation instincts going on here.
No. The so gun website says that the dude got off of that other dude's bike. Do we see that at the beginning?
He probably did, but we don't know. Well, it looks like he's coming from the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows? At some point in the past, they may have.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that both of them fell like the same way at the same time. Boom.
Can't even script that shit.
Oh, this guy went over and kicked the guy on the motorcycle.
Beat his ass. Yeah,
this guy right here. Whoopah! Soccer kicked him. Oh man.
He has a helmet.
So we say, like, things that worked, that doesn't mean they were necessarily the right thing, or it doesn't mean that it's something that we would teach to do. And
go back just a tad bit, just a fucking smidgen. Boom. A little bit more. More. I guess more than a fucking smidgen, right? So this is what I'm interested right here. He shoots him, gun goes down, and we talk about this a lot. And this, I'm assuming that at this point is happening as an improvised thing, not necessarily muscle memory or anything like that. Maybe.
Are you talking about his low ready position here?
Yeah, so he's in the urinal position, which whatever, nitpicking at this point. But his gun goes down. So a lot of people ask why, when we do the assessment, we have people come back to the eye compressed ready. Obviously, it's quicker to get on target, all of the cliches. But also, this is one of the things you're going to do is you will shoot. And once you're done, whether you go to the low ready because you're slightly tarded, or you go back to the eye compressed ready, which is a more appropriate thing to do. Either way, it's almost like your brain instinctively knows, I need to not do this right now. I need to fucking look around. I need to do some other shit before I shoot. I think you kind of alluded to that earlier, is this whole idea of processing information before you make another action. You couldn't see that very well earlier, but I was just able to catch that.
Oh, once again, full extension.
Full extension.
He looks a lot different than the guy who was sexy arms. So that's what I'm gonna start calling it, because I know every dude who shoots like that thinks that they're sexy as hell. So yeah, we see that moment of his attention going from here
to somewhere
else.
Yeah.
Another thing is we don't see him moving to a position of advantage necessarily, because typically we wouldn't call moving closer to your target generally an advantageous thing. But it is possible that he's considering that this guy, even though he's running away, is still armed, as he starts shooting and he starts pursuing. And if we were thinking cover concealment, like what cover concealment?
What cover
You know,
concealment?
like there's nothing here that is going to improve his position to fight from.
No, he could go behind a car. A lot of people will argue that, well, he could go behind a car, but again, it does that improve
Yeah.
his position? Does that improve his situation? And I would argue that it almost doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and a lot of these guys, and this is something I don't know about this video, but of course, a lot of these, South American or Central American videos, the good guy with the gun is almost always an off-duty cop. And it's very possible in this case that that's true, and that training and instinct is to control your bad guy after you've, dealt with
killed him.
after you kill them. So interesting here that like he comes over here and then immediately after he puts his attention there, he immediately decides to go back to this other guy.
Well, I think he instructed people, "Come kick him."
Yeah, kick this guy. Okay, now over here, this guy right here, somebody kick him. This dude's like, dude, I got you. I got you. Wind up. He checked traffic first.
Oh, even with the sex crap, he was like, "Is this guy?"
Watch him as he's going into the street. He like looks both ways and he's like, ah.
What a weird time to get a sex cramp, dude.
I'm very aroused. Yeah. So the movement, he does move with intention and purpose here, and like it again. There's a lot of things we can't know. So maybe he was going over to make sure this guy is actually unarmed. Maybe he was going over to make sure that he can't become a threat. There's lots of reasons why he may have gone over there. It looked like when he came back over this guy it was to control him because he starts reaching down towards the guy, maybe for his gun or something. But this is a situation where like, well, your movement has to make sense to you to do something useful rather than where this guy was, we're seeing just like, this doesn't make any sense from a self-preservation point of view. Jumping up and running towards somebody who just pointed a gun at you when you don't have a gun, you don't have any way to defend yourself. And you're like, well, he deserves a kick. And like, that's not self-defense, that's vengeance. And that's just not that bright. I'm not saying I wouldn't feel that impulse, but we're saying from a defensive point of view, this is not good, meaningful behavior right here.
Correct.
So, it's funny though. And that counts for something. So yeah. Let's see. I feel like that dude is a cop, security guard for that place. Yeah, maybe for that place, maybe just off duty. Very common in that part of the world. So, Sewell position, South America. So it's Sewell.
It was a European that fucking invented the Sewell position.
I heard Masad Ayub talking about it, but I don't remember anything he said about it. I've watched that video, that him explaining it like 3 or 4 times. I can never remember. I guess I just don't care.
Yeah, it was a European dude.
And it was what was the purpose?
Team stuff.
Team stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But then you see people doing it, in other circumstances
when you're all alone.
So
go ahead.
I was going to say that urinal position.
I'm
going to use that. It's always dudes. It's always dudes who are standing there, and you tell them like 10 times, like, hey, get that gun up into your ready position. And they're like, I am. You're like, no, look at you, dude.
One of the things that helps us out a lot is Tisha going around taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, no, I am doing this. And then Tisha comes around.
I need somebody like that on the range to do that for me.
Watch this shit. You get a lot of people like, oh shit, I didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of to your point earlier, where like that's what you think you did.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your brain, it's kind of like the people who like they think they sing very good, and then they hear a recording of themselves, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" Like that's you. We've been trying to tell you, like for a very long time. They use that, but no, I sound amazing. Yeah, in the shower.
The shower, yeah. Dude, I sound awesome in the shower.
Do you fucking do you do a tone check? No.
No, it always starts off real quiet, and then I get a little confident, and then I just start ripping it. Yeah. So, but again, like the point of looking at these videos, like what I've tried to learn how to do with these videos first and foremost, because I came from like watching the videos and just listening to people talk about like, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. And like, oh yeah, yeah. And then you start to realize like, well, that we might be able to tell that in some cases from some certain actions. But what now I'm trying to look for in these videos is what is usually true about the way people react. Because I find that much more likely to be valuable information to me in my own understanding, as well as helping people understand this is what your brain and body want to do in these circumstances. So let's train around that rather than training for a bill drill at 5 yards, where nothing about that resembles a realistic situation.
Correct.
So I'm not sure what Kaiser Gaming YouTube just put up there. Is that a pacifier? Oh, it's a shower head. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there was something else, some other YouTube video that I watched, but I can't remember what it is at the moment. So I'm going to pull up my list of news stories. Oh, there was another thing that that came out just today that I wanted to talk about, which is if you're not familiar with Tom Grieve or Greaves, he is an attorney, and he used to be a prosecutor, and now he's a criminal defense attorney. And he used to shill a lot for USCCA. I think he is basically just now on his own. I think he's probably still a USCCA contract attorney, but he doesn't shill for them anymore. And I'm not saying he doesn't like USCCA. I'm just saying if you've seen him in places, you may have seen him talking about USCCA. And he had a video that he put out today called Lawyer, 6 legal moments you can pull the trigger in self-defense. So
that was rough.
He's using a specific video of a road rage incident that ended up at somebody's house.
Okay.
Where the guy got out of his truck, started yelling at the homeowner. Actually, I'll just pull up a screenshot of it.
Oh, yeah. And
then went back to his truck and pulled out an AR-15.
It was a white dude against the black dudes, right?
Yeah, like a family of black people, I think, were present.
Because they were playing music or some shit.
I think it involved a car accident that happened further up the street.
Yeah.
But this guy left and came back. So we've got this guy with an AR-15 that he just pulled out of his truck, and he's walking towards our defender here on his driveway, and he eventually points the rifle in the direction of the people.
First off, Tom, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's got a little furless cat.
He does look like a villain. Yeah. I like this guy. I think he's real smart. I think he does a really good job of explaining legal processes and stuff. But this type of video irritates me because 6 legal moments you can pull the trigger in self-defense. And then he goes on to explain all these moments where a jury is likely to agree with you if you pulled the trigger. But really what we should be looking at here is like, why is this guy standing in his driveway with a camera in one hand and his gun in his other hand? Because the person filming right now has a handgun in their right hand and their phone in their left hand. And they're filming this guy who's agitated get a gun out of his truck and walk towards him. And he's not fast. Like, he's a crippled old man. And he's filming him standing wide out in the open right here. And the guy eventually does point the rifle in his direction and fires a warning shot. And nobody has the good sense to just go inside the house.
Correct.
Or at least like close the garage door. And, like, it's just, there's not a lot about this video that makes sense, but Tom's focus on this is like, when can you shoot him? Like, well, you can shoot him whenever you want to. Like, if you have a gun, you can shoot him whenever you want to. The question is, are you trying to defend yourself, or are you trying to win an argument? Because there's a dude with a loaded rifle pointed at you who really wants to win this argument. And you're going to like continue to argue with him? Like, what is I don't understand at all the thought process behind the defender's decisions in this video.
Well, and I think an attorney should know better than to try and tell people when to shoot, when not to shoot.
Yeah,
because it sets a really bad. I don't know. It creates a really bad environment for bad shit to happen. Because again, most of our students just want to be told what the fuck to do.
right. And so if you tell them something, first of all, the chances that they understood you as well as you hoped that they would understand you is almost zero.
Yeah.
Second of all, they're going to take their understanding of what you said and they're going to build a rule around that for themselves and anybody they talk to about it. Well, I went to concealed carry class and a lawyer told me that you blah 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 blah. And now your student is the authority by proxy because they heard you say something and now they're sharing that information with other people in their own flawed way, in their own lack of understanding, in their own Dunning-Kruger. And now the person who heard them said, well, somebody went to a concealed carry class and they heard from a lawyer that this, now we're like way off the beaten path now. And Tom's not the only one who did this. I pulled up Attorneys on Retainer, and Attorneys on Retainer has Self-Defense Academy, the road rage incident. You guys are lawyers, not instructors. Like, I don't understand
Correct.
why you think it's a good idea to give self-defense advice. You should be giving advice on how to deal with aftermath.
Yeah, the legal stuff.
And really, it's just call us. Like, that's like you don't even really, in a lot of ways, you don't even really benefit from knowing. It's a Dunning-Kruger thing again. You learn a little bit about what to do in the aftermath or what happens in the aftermath, and now you think you know, and you're like, well, now I don't need an attorney. So, and these two guys in this video, Mark Victor and I forget this dude's name, they're smart. They're really smart. They're very experienced attorneys. They do a lot of self-defense cases, a lot of criminal cases, like criminal not involving self-defense, just
Correct.
people doing criminal shit.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about. And I've listened to a lot of what they talk about. They really have a good grasp of how to fight a case. And knowing not just, like what the law is, but knowing all the little ways that you can get an advantage from that defense position. But they shouldn't be doing Self-Defense Academy. So
yeah, and I mean, it doesn't take much. I got this from we can't see it. But it's on Instagram. Somebody sent me a message. He's like, hey, I have to take a class with you. My boss, he's an instructor, but he says he can't do it for me because he's not verified in Adams County, and I'm in Adams County. And he says you have to be verified in that county. And then he sends me that screenshot of his boss who owns a security company. I was like, no, your boss is full of shit. That's not the way it works.
He's full of shit. You should take his class. Which is about what, like, I'm sure you told him, like, you could totally take his class if he's verified.
Correct. Well, yeah. I tried explaining that to him, and the dude, I was like tired. I was like, it is what it is, dude. Like, here's the information, take it, leave it. But your boss is wrong. And then he Googled it, is Guns for Everyone verified, and he sent me that screenshot. And AI told him, yeah, they're the most legit company in the whole fucking world. There's nothing as legit as GFEN. I think that's what AI said, obviously.
Well, AI has finally figured out how to tell the truth.
And he's like, "Yep, I guess my boss is lying." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I told you. We've been at it for fucking 20 years. I'm telling you, your boss is wrong."
Yeah.
And his response was, well, that dude's the man, and like, this is just his boss at a security company.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much fucking weight an attorney who just says, yeah, just fucking start blasting fucking Danny DeVito the shit out of him?
Well, especially an attorney who's going to tell you at the outset what their credentials are. 30 years practicing, never lost a case, blah, 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 blah. You're like, okay, well, this dude is a certified winner. So whatever he says, I got to listen to.
It's true.
And I was dealing with some mechanical problems on my truck this morning, and I took it in for an alignment, and the guy told me, he's like, "Yeah, your shit's all fucked up." Now, the last time I looked at my shit, it didn't look fucked up to me.
To
But
you.
but I walk into this shop, this dude's been open since 1979.
Yeah.
And all he does is this.
Yeah.
And so I have to quell that part of my brain that says, I think you probably know better than he does. And like, no, you absolutely don't know better. If he told you this is not working, you should definitely give him the benefit of the doubt that this is not working. Because I think it's pretty common that that even in the face of an expert, if you're working from information prior to that you've convinced yourself of, it's very hard to listen to the real expert.
It's fucking. So I just watched a comedian. He's doing some plumbing in his house, and he's taking the opportunity to make some content with it. And in real time, well, while he's making the video, he's explaining. I found the drainage or the clean out. So I'm gonna do the clean out, and in real time, he's like, I just figured out. He's like that. I don't know. I figure I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it's that realization, like, I don't know any of this shit. Like, I'm just trying to figure this shit out. He doesn't know anything. It turned out he put down some grease down the thing, so it clogged it all up. So he's just getting all the grease out. But he's like, I don't fucking know. Like this time it worked out for me, but in the future, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's I don't know what I don't know is one of the most valuable things to know that you don't know. Because then you're like, oh, but now I know because I didn't know. And I realized that I didn't know. And I seek the knowledge. Because now he probably told you what the fuck was wrong with it and what to look for, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he told me, and I was like, part of me didn't want to believe it because of the effort and expense it was going to take to fix it. But part of me was just like, no, I checked. How can that be true? I checked. Like,
what was wrong with it?
The cam bolts on the lower control arms are seized up. And typically on this vehicle, they seize up because they're rusted. And so I went under there and I inspected them very closely. I didn't try to loosen them, but I inspected them very closely, and there's not a spot of rust anywhere under there. And if they are seized up, we're talking $250 in parts and probably 2 hours of work to get them off. So I really don't want them to be seized, but they are. So,
did you try it?
Not yet. I haven't had time, but yeah.
But you're gonna try it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna try it. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'm just gonna bust out the Sawzall. I'm cutting those things off. So, but we can't know everything. And I think
speak for yourself.
Yeah. There's an impulse that, like, if there's information that I need to have, then like I need to have the answer. I need to be able to have the answer at my fingertips. And so if you give me something close to what seems like the right answer, then I'm just going to go with that. Because what else are you going to do? Pursue a bunch of information that's hard to find, hard to understand, and then try to apply it, or just start trying things until you find something that works. The problem in self-defense is you don't get the opportunities to go out and do that. You don't get the opportunity to, try a bunch of things that might work, might not work, figure it out, and then fix it. What's interesting is the military does get this opportunity, but while they're doing it, they're spending lives. I was listening to a podcast about the invasion of the island of Tarawa in World War II. It was a Japanese held island. And it was one of the first beach landings that the Pacific Fleet tried to do. And they didn't do a great job. And a lot of Marines just got wasted. But in that process, they were learning a bunch of lessons that they were going to go on to use in other island warfare. And then by the time they started invading like Okinawa, they knew what they were doing. They were good at it now. They were kicking some Japanese ass. But they spent a lot of lives to get there.
Yeah.
It's very costly in combat. And I say combat meaning fighting between two people. unplanned fighting between two people where you have to learn the lessons on the fly and apply them in the future, it's going to cost you. And so that's why we have to take even more special care to try to learn the right lessons before it actually happens and have that open learning attitude and not the Dunning-Kruger or the, whatever you want to call it, arrogance or just being very comfortable in your ignorance, etc. So,
yeah, and I'm generally pretty pessimistic because there's no point to any of this.
Don't forget to donate.
Don't forget to donate. But how incredible of a time do we live in that we're sitting here debating about or talking about what to actually pay attention to on the range, because we probably will not actually experience this, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We could only base it off of videos, and even that doesn't tell us the full story of what's going to happen to me, because the likelihood of it happening to me super fucking rare. Like it's super fucking rare.
So let's I mean, yeah, absolutely. We are, I hate to use this word because it's so tainted, but we are so privileged to be living in a time where this is
you are I have none, remember.
It's almost all theoretical until it's not, right? Until that moment happens for somebody. And I've lost track of how many students. I don't know if you have a number offhand, students of ours who have had to use their gun in a way that they've told us about, had to use their gun to defend themselves.
The ones that have actually told me is approaching 30. I don't count about 10ish of them, because they're like, in my brain was like, I don't think you needed to do it at all. And then the other ones that I do count was like, yeah, I think if you would have known the way they explained it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of them made the news, and some of them people died.
So it's not theoretical for them. Right.
Correct.
And it's but we are very lucky that we live in a time where it's like, well, this is what we expect would happen in these circumstances based on science and data and all that stuff. You had a self-defense incident. You were working security, and since we're talking about assessment, you assessed a very minute detail very quickly when you recognized that your attacker's gun was not loaded.
Yeah, this was I almost always forget about this circumstance, mostly because I didn't use a gun. And it was a robbery at a retail shop, Rainbow. But yeah, it's what I now understand to be tachypsychia, allow me to process information, and I don't know if that's why it happened, but allow me to process information that the barrel did not look like a loaded barrel. Now in that moment, I could have been fucking dead wrong. Luckily, I was right. But it was one of those pieces of information that allowed me to defend myself with a little bit more confidence.
And also choose a less risky option for defense.
Correct. Yeah, because I didn't use my gun. I could have used my gun, but
according to Tom Grieve,
yeah, according to
you could have used your gun.
I could have, but I don't think it was so long ago. I don't think I even considered using my gun.
From what I remember of our conversation about it when it happened, I think that's correct. From what I remember you saying all the way back then, is that the thought of using your gun didn't even cross your mind.
Didn't even fucking cross the mind. So it's and that's one of those situations. There's a couple more that every once in a while it'll come up, and I was like, oh yeah, that shit did happen.
Would you say that the ones that really stick in your head and have left some kind of mark on you are the ones where you did use your gun?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's interesting because You would think that having a gun pointed between your eyeballs would be one of those traumatic circumstances that would stay with you.
Yeah, but
But it
not
didn't.
really. But it didn't. Waking up and then having my car shot out, bullet holes in my car, like that's scary. But like I don't like I forget that that happens. Like every once in a while, I was like, oh yeah, that shit happened. Like I've been shot at because it was really more my car than it was me. There was one time I was at the Jeffco Fairgrounds, and the dude tried to take my gun, and I had to rearrange his nose. Um, and I forget about that one every once in a while. So there's a lot of them that I forget about because I used to talk about this more emotionally, and I'm a pretty emotional human, unfortunately. Emotionally, it bothered me more the thought of I'm almost about to kill someone than I'm about to die. So I don't know if it's that. Like I don't know what the psychology behind it is. I never really explored it, but yeah, it's those two times when I had to. The first time I drew my gun, second time I did shoot. Those times for sure are I never forget those.
The second one where you had to shoot had the element of like, "Oh, I had to shoot," but also that somebody else that you cared about was involved. So obviously
That's
that's gonna.
that's almost positively why I shot is because Letitia was there because my
Mhm.
wife was there. Had my wife not been
And you
there,
didn't want her seeing you be a little bitch and
be a little bitch. I gotta be a man. She reminded a whole class that didn't know this whole fucking story that I was in my underwear while I was doing this. So she reminded like I forget that detail
Yeah.
that I was actually fucking naked, and I was like, oh, I gotta put some underwear on so that I don't get a fucking charge for rocking
Fight
out with my Glock out.
fighting naked. Um, yeah, it's interesting because,
Uh,
you're I think in general, maybe you don't consider yourself, but I think other people consider you to be a, self-assured, maybe even like macho person. Not
uh,
macho like you're posturing, but like your self-confidence, that you project and that you're
mhm.
very comfortable with, with the things that you teach, your who you are, etc. Even though I know that you like you hate yourself, but uh,
Yeah.
so the idea that using your firearm is somehow not going to be emotionally damaging to you because you're a tough guy or you're like self-confident or you could do what you needed to do to save your family and I would sleep just fine knowing that that bad guy died in my front yard or whatever. I think people drastically overestimate that. And I'm not just saying that. Like I have read and listened to and talked to lots of people who have used their firearms in self-defense, and with very few exceptions, and I mean very few exceptions, it leaves a permanent mark on your psyche, and not something that I think in general people um, want to think about as like a possible consequence, but it very likely is going to be a long-term consequence. And what a lot of other people say, and in a lot of ways, your other encounters don't really include this, but the one that involved Tisha did, is the idea not just that I was in danger, but that somebody I cared about was in danger.
Yeah.
And that also tends to shatter your perception of the I guess the stability of your life with this person. Like somebody could have taken this person away from me. It almost happened. And that shatters your perception of safety or whatever you want to call it. And that leaves a mark on people. I've heard quite a few people talk about if their kids were involved, how horrible they feel about the whole situation that happened because their kids were present.
I don't even like people yelling at my kids.
Yeah.
I'll slap a hoe. Uh, I will fucking I don't even fucking I don't even like that shit. The last big argument, just to switch it up a little bit, it's the psyche. The last big One of my biggest traumas in life is my relationship with my parents, because they weren't great parents. They're not bad people, they just weren't great parents, and my mom definitely is not a great grandma. She's not a good grandparent to my kids. So my kids in general are like, we want nothing to do with her. She did to us what she did to you, all of that stuff. There's one time, she wanted to take a picture with my kids, the three younger ones. I got four, and for those of you guys that don't know, so the three younger ones.
Bragging on your 4. I only
Yeah.
have 3.
And so my kids were like, "No, we're good. Like, I'm all right." And she started fucking getting crazy about the fact that they didn't want to take pictures. So she kind of made a scene. I was like, "Let's fucking set this shit. Fuck, you're not gonna talk to my kids like this." And that's the last time where like I fucking went off. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Yeah.
I will fucking go off.
Which is surprising considering, you're always talking about how much of a waste of your life you're having kids has been.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's a weird dynamic when something, because at this point, if we're being 100% honest and vulnerable, it's one of the very few things that I'm still on earth for is one of the things that still keeps me fucking going. It's cheesy, it's cliche-ish, it's whatever. Unfortunately, I think a lot of men struggle with this. If I didn't have this, would I still be here? Would I, or would I do something else? Right? Like we don't know. So for sure, it's one of those. Tisha's there still, so that's a ginormous part of it. But it is, I think, for most humans, is I will do what I need to do to protect my family. But I think you are wrong if you believe that you'll do it happily. I'll do it without hesitation, but I don't know if I will be happy about it. I don't know if I'll be glad. I don't know if I'd be satisfied. I don't know if like there'd be some like no. I know the last time that I had to do any self defense to that extreme was when Letitia was there, and it was for a while, dude. It was shit. I haven't showed you the video. I told you I'll probably never show anybody that video. Very rarely, but it has happened when I talk about it in class and I just break down because it's still like, what the fuck? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen a lot. I know for Letitia for a very long time, it was just fuck. We moved out of that place because of it. Objectively
Also
speaking,
very common.
Yeah, objectively speaking, that space is one of the better spaces we've had. Affordable. Shit, we'd probably still be there had it not been for that incident.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very common that people are like, I don't want to be here. They're like, my peace is no longer.
Yeah.
This is the one place where I'm supposed to have peace. And it is highly, highly, I think a lot of men just deal with it that way. It's like, I'm just gonna pretend like I'm a big macho guy and I was happy to do it. Like, you probably weren't. You probably, that's why you're a drunk.
Yeah.
Or that's why you have to whatever to escape. So it's psychologically it's rough. Shit, I don't even like killing animals, dude. I will.
Yeah.
They're tasty. I'll get over it.
Well, my somebody that we both know was telling me that he put his dog down recently, and he put his dog down.
Oh, Old Yeller style.
Yeah, in the backyard.
Oh.
And
I don't know that I.
And I'm not going to say who it was because this was within the city limits, and I was like, I just had to confront the reality that I don't think I could do that to my dog. And I'm not a dog lover. I'm not like, oh, my dog's part of the family. My dog.
This motherfucker sleeps with his dog. Don't you?
Yeah, do that. Yeah. I mean, I'll let her sleep in my use my pillow and use my toilet.
My dog's outside right now, dude.
Yeah, but it's like 80 degrees outside.
It's pretty warm, but your dog's inside.
Well, she spends most of the day outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like I'm not a modern white person with a
Great.
dog.
Yeah,
I'm more like the 1980s white person with a dog.
yeah, yeah.
Well, like I just look at her and I'm like, I couldn't do that to her.
Oh, dude, like the cost when we were considering putting Maybell down,
Oh, that might actually make me do it's the
uh,
cost.
the cost was like, luckily we found a place that would do it for free.
Some dude down the street with
Down the street, yeah, yeah. Oh no, dude, it bothers me to know, like, did they actually do it? Did they? Is it?
She's off living on some farm, like
So
all happy and everything.
it happened to somebody, dude.
It
It
did?
fucking yeah, somebody fucking went to go take put their dog down and seen it, I think a year or so afterwards, seen it up for adoption somewhere.
They're selling your dog after they charge you to put it down. That's
Uh,
like the dude who sold me my tires yesterday. I'm pretty sure that was a recycling scam. Um,
they peel
so
off?
what's that?
They peel off?
No, no, no. Like they're good tires, but I'm like, there was no receipt. There was
Yeah.
and this was through a tire shop. No receipt, no nothing. It was just like cash on the spot, and we don't know each other anymore. So um Mexican, of course.
Fuck yeah,
They run all the good tire scams for sure.
for sure.
So saved me a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Um so I had a self-defense incident.
You did.
Yeah. Just a few weeks ago.
You had to use your gun?
No. I used my brain.
Use your brain.
So I'm with my wife and my youngest daughter, and we're going somewhere, and we need to eat on the way. So we stop at Wendy's. It was the Wendy's. If you're familiar with Colorado Springs, it was on Powers and Palmer Park, I think, over by the Walmart over there. And so I'll eat and drive all the time, but if I don't have to eat and drive, I prefer not to. So
Right.
go through the drive-through and I pull off into the parking lot, and there's nobody in the parking lot. So I don't need to park in a spot. I can just pull to the side. And I'm taking up like 6 parking spots, but I don't care. There's nobody around. And this guy comes walking. I'm eating and I'm just paying attention, everything going on around. And this guy comes kind of walking from behind the McDonald's. Now he's like probably in his 60s, homeless, carrying a bag, and talking to himself. And he walks towards one parked car, and there's nobody in that parked car. So as he's walking towards it, he just decides he's not going to go all the way to that car. Now he starts walking towards our car. And I'm so lazy that like I'm sitting there eating my chicken sandwich and I'm still in drive. So like I just have my foot on the brake and I'm cramming the sandwich down, and he starts walking towards us. And I was like, I bet he's probably going to ask for money or something. And Jen sees him, my wife sees him, and sees him walking towards us. So she just checks to make sure the doors are locked, and take a big bite of the sandwich. And I look, and he walks all the way up to the car and grabs the passenger side door handle where my daughter is sitting, and he tries to open the door. And then I just take my foot off the brake. I roll forward about 20 feet, and he swears at me or swears at the earth. I'm not sure. It didn't like he was just letting off. And
Yeah.
he turned around and walked the other way, and I just finished my sandwich. I'm like, all right, we're good. Like it was a non-event. It was a complete non-event.
Right.
But if you're thinking about that idea of when can I shoot this person, and you're working off of bad information, especially where somebody says, well, your car's an extension of your home. Well, you're working off the moment.
It's not, by the way, in Colorado.
Which is not in Colorado. You very easily could talk yourself into confronting or shooting this person. And it's not that I don't care about my wife and my daughter, but I didn't feel like anything was really dangerous about this. The door was locked, and I'm already in drive. There's no way this guy is going to pose any threat to me. All I have to do is just get away from him a little
Yeah.
bit. And
Well,
so,
this is a conversation that comes up in classes a lot, right? It's that what if. Well, what I had a guy, he was moving in, U-Haul. I think I talked about this already. U-Haul. He was kind of blocking the way because he's loading and unloading at a apartment complex. There's no easy way to park a U-Haul at an apartment complex, so you're gonna block somebody. So some dude gets pissed off, goes in front of him, stops, comes out, and then simulates that he's got a gun. And his question is like, "Well, I feel like I felt threatened, so maybe if I would have had a gun." I was like, "Maybe if you would have had a gun, what?" He's like, "Well, maybe I could have shot him." I was like, "Well, but nothing needed to be done. Like you did everything. You're here.
yeah.
Like, was a gun pulled out? No, I don't think he had one." I was like, "So, had you had a gun, you would have been the dude pulling out a real gun to shoot somebody without a gun." So, like, it's this idea of if I would have had a gun, everything would have been better. Like, or you could have made shit worse.
Mhm.
Or you could have made shit worse. Because the dad instinct is like, I want to kill this fucker that's trying to come in, but then you figure out this motherfucker's just batshit crazy, drunk,
Yeah, yeah.
high.
And there's no reasonable way he would have known who was in that car and who was behind that door. Like, I had no reason to believe that he was targeting
Yeah,
my
because you
family.
have drug dealer tint, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, but the angle that he was walking up to the
Oh,
car, there's no way he could have known
yeah.
what was behind that door. And he's obviously crazy, and like I'm not an expert on this, but I think I have a somewhat idea of what a um reasonably dangerous crazy person acts like versus a much less dangerous crazy person acts like.
Yeah.
And just as an example, like today I was driving home with my daughter, and there was this guy who crossed the middle of the street, like between the two lights. So he's jaywalking, no big deal, I don't care. But cars are coming, and he decides that he needs to run the rest of the way across the street. So he starts running. He trips over the curb. He flies over the sidewalk, lands in the grass, and starts rolling aggressively up and down in the grass, screaming. Like, if that had happened near the car, I
He's
probably would have driven away a little bit faster.
yeah. He's trying to get that cash in that lawsuit money.
Yeah. So it's like there was nothing about this that I mean, unless the door was unlocked. If the door was unlocked, it's a different story. But we have door locks and we use them.
What?
So
You lock the doors?
we lock the doors around crazy white people. But I like it was a non-event as far as I was concerned,
Yeah.
and I just ate my fries, ate my sandwich, and we moved on. But I did think about it later, and all the questions that come up in classes about what I could have done in that situation,
All kinds
and
of shit.
and
You
the
could have
answer is
ran
I
him
could have
over.
done whatever I wanted. If I wanted to run him over, I could have done it. But what should I have done? Well, what should I have done is don't ruin my evening for no good reason. Don't take somebody's life for no good reason. Don't put myself in legal
Can you imagine
jeopardy.
the trauma that your daughter would have been in
Oh,
if you would have
dude.
fucking offed
And I'd have
him?
been like, "That's how you do it, babe.
That's how you
Like,
do it.
yeah, I'm gonna sleep great tonight. I
And then
know
she
you are gonna have nightmares for the rest of your life, but I'm gonna sleep great
because
tonight."
you would have had to off him right next to her
Yeah, yeah.
because you were
Or it would have been
carrying
like a Tarantino movie with blood all over the window and
everywhere because that's how
yeah,
it goes.
yeah.
Brain matter everywhere because I'm sure that's how it happens. So, like, you have to weigh that shit out, like the trauma that she's gonna be in, the trauma that your wife would have been in. Um, like, is it worth it? Is it worth proving a point to somebody who is crazy and
And that's
probably
all it would have been is proving a point.
yeah,
And all I'm trying really the only person I'm trying to prove the point to is myself.
yourself. Well, a few other small dicks in the room with lifted trucks and
Yeah.
sexy arms.
Yes. I'm one of those few people with lifted trucks with a huge cock. But But
you can find that at
but I think
onlyfans.com.
that, like, the reason, well, I don't know this for sure. A lot of times we don't know exactly why we do the things we do, but, um, the reason I responded the way I did is because I've really tried to think of and learn about self-defense as a necessity more than as anything else. And this is what we talked about in the past with the legal stuff. It's like, well, I want to follow the law. I want to follow the law. And we're like, no, I don't really care. I mean, I do care about the legal consequences, but what I care more about is that I don't end up in situations that are going to make my life worse.
Yeah.
So, gun or no gun, the easiest thing to do is just let my foot off the brake and roll forward until this guy has lost interest. And if he had followed me, if I rolled forward and he kept walking, I would have driven around that parking lot until he stopped. Like, it would have been
Made him
funny at that point, you
made
know.
him dizzy.
Well, what if he chases me? Well, what if he chases me? He's not going to catch me, you know. I had a road rage incident many years ago that I was getting off. I was on C470 and I was getting off at Wadsworth, and I had somehow pissed off some guy, probably for driving too slow. And I took the exit quickly to try to lose him, but he ended up driving off the exit in front of me anyway. And then we're on Wadsworth down by C470, and he stops his car in the middle of Wadsworth and he gets out and he starts walking towards me. So I just start reversing, but only fast enough to keep him interested, right? Like, not fast, like fast enough that he can't catch me, but not so fast that he loses interest. So we got probably 100 yards from his car, and that's when I took off. And I'm like, "You're the idiot now that's got to walk all the way back to your car." Because I'm like, if I don't see some obvious threat here, like, this is just funny to me
What
until,
is that Geico commercial with the fisherman guy? The fucking he's got
yeah,
a
almost got
oh.
you with the dollar. But and I'm not saying I've like figured all this stuff out and everything, like I'm the smartest guy alive, but if I think there's a real question in people's heads of like, what if, I mean, we hear from people all the time, and it's like, well, yeah, you got this far probably without any major conflicts in your life, and it's not completely up to you if somebody decides to try to hurt you, but man, a lot of times it is kind of up to you. And if you think of things as like, what would a responsible adult do? What do I need to do to protect myself and my family? A lot of times it's very simple and it's very low risk, especially if you're paying attention. If that guy had surprised me, I probably would have reacted a little bit differently.
Correct.
But I saw him coming. I saw this whole situation developing, and I was like, and I wasn't even sure he was going to reach for the car until he did. I thought maybe he might just walk past because he hadn't reached for any other cars. So I was just curious, like, what is he doing, And then I saw him pull up next to the car and reach, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's out of his mind. Let's move forward a little bit, So some people would be like, well, you shouldn't let him get anywhere near your car. I'm like, I didn't see any reason to be concerned.
That one fucking is always crazy to me. Like, it's a parking lot. Like, they're walking. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are they like? You want me to put a 20-foot perimeter around my car and like,
Yeah.
I don't
Somebody
know.
goes to get in their car next to you and you're like, hey, buddy, this is my zone.
This is my zone.
Yeah.
It such a weird mentality of like, you shouldn't have done this. These are the same humans that I promise you, if we went to a class, this is where my intrusive thoughts come in. I was like, you probably smoked that motherfucker quick. He better be the first one to fucking let his guard down.
Yeah.
Because he's putting on his tag vest and show off his tattoos, and like, you just off that motherfucker quick. And then in his tune, like, I guess I wasn't
ready.
aware. I wasn't aware 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in general, I mean, our base, aside from cell phones, I think cell phones have made things much worse than they used to be. But I think in general, people have a baseline level of awareness that serves them in 99.9999% of their life. And so when we're talking about, oh, you got to pay attention, like, people do pay attention. How do I know people pay attention? Because I drive every single day and nobody hits me. Like, that's not an accident. People
Yeah.
do pay attention. Are they paying attention as much as they possibly can? Absolutely not. Are they paying attention as much as they should? I don't know. We kind of have to look at the outcome. But this idea, like, oh, I'm always switched on and everything. It's like, yeah, but you're not really. And even if you were, does that really serve you? So I'm sitting there cramming a chicken sandwich into my face, but I am also looking around a little bit because
And
that's what I always do. It's not like I'm looking for threats. I'm just paying attention to what I think I need to pay attention to meet my goals.
yeah.
A 2025 El Paso County jury is much different a few decades ago. Force at Wendy's could have been reasonable, but may not be viewed necessary by a jury. No way to predict.
Yeah.
El Paso County jury. No, I take that back. A Pueblo County jury acquitted Eugene Bayless of murder in 1994 for the shooting at the Gemini Saloon.
OK Corral.
Yeah, the OK Corral. And that was a completely lawless situation. Totally I mean, literally dealing with outlaw bikers and some crazy Vietnam vet who decided that, or Gulf War vet, I'm not sure. I can't remember. He was a veteran. I think it was Gulf War. And this guy was out of his mind, crazy. And
He
literally
brought
shot up.
grenades, right?
What's that?
He brought grenades?
He brought grenades to a bar. He wore a flak jacket. He had a combat knife. He had his Marines combat knife. And he claimed self-defense, and he won. Juries are hard to predict. And in fact, I think actually, generally speaking, El Paso County is maybe, if I had to pick a county where I was going to have to shoot somebody and face a prosecutor and face a jury, I think I'd take Denver.
Yeah.
Over El Paso County. And I'm not saying that in 2025. I'm saying that period. I'm saying that at any point in the last, well, I've been in Colorado for 25 years. So I'd say at least that long.
What's the logic?
Generally speaking, Denver doesn't have time to worry about a self-defense case.
Oh, they're just super saturated and overwhelmed with.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
Yeah.
El Paso County, not so much. Also, El Paso County, maybe a little bit more law and order. Maybe like we're not gonna just let this slide. We're gonna actually evaluate this. And
people underestimate how much and again, trying not to make this political, but it's hard not to. But Republicans generally do, well, that's the law of the land, so we have to follow the law, and there was a law. So, and this is why we lose in the gun battle, right? Because as soon as it's law, it's like, well, you got to follow the law because now it's law. So, and yeah, I never considered that a Republican county would be more like, well, I don't agree with it, but that's the law. So
there was a case in El Paso County. This was about 7 or 8 years ago now. Guy confronted a drug addict who was sleeping in the laundry room of an apartment building. Multiple offender, trespasser guy. Our good guy, our hero in this situation, very straight-laced guy, never had any legal problems in his life, never been arrested or anything like that, goes in and confronts this homeless guy and ends up believing, I guess, in his mind that he needed to shoot him. And it took 4 years for that guy to eventually win his case against or
in the Supreme Court,
in the Colorado State Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So you had an El Paso County prosecutor, an El Paso County jury, you had an El Paso County district or a district judge from around here, all thought that he was guilty. And it wasn't until he got to the liberal Supreme Court that he won his case for self-defense. Meanwhile, this was, let's see, COVID was 2020. I think this shooting happened in 2020. This was in Denver. Guy gets his car stolen from the Northfield shopping complex. He's got an Apple AirTag in his car. or some other way of tracking his car. So he gets on the phone with 911 and he calls 911 and says, "Hey, my car got stolen and I'm looking for it and I know where it is." And 911 says, "Do not go to your car. Let the police handle this." And he says, "Nah, I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll just go deal with this myself." So he finally finds the car. I think it was somewhere up in the Highlands. I'm not totally sure, but he finds the car, and against the advice of the 911 operator, jumps out of his car and approaches, jumps out of the car he was in and approaches his car, immediately starts getting shot at, pulls out his gun, returns fire, kills the 12-year-old driver of the car who was unarmed. It took the prosecutor in Denver 5 days to tell the entire country, post George Floyd, no charges in this case.
Yeah.
So, these are anecdotes. These are anecdotes. I can't point to data for this.
Correct.
But talk about winning the lottery when it comes to stupid decisions and avoiding bad outcomes for yourself.
Correct.
And yeah, Denver prosecutor says no charges. That was self-defense.
No charges. Yeah.
And I do think it was right. Once those bullets started flying, I think it was self-defense. But I think if you could make the argument that this guy somehow caused this conflict to happen in the first place, I think you could win that argument in front of a jury.
Yeah, because he was instructed not to follow, and he did.
Yeah.
So he escalated the situation. It didn't need to be escalated.
Yeah. And so in 2025, an El Paso County jury, man, I don't know. I really don't know if what to expect, other than to say that there's no slam dunk when it comes to any prosecutor or any jury. And it's definitely not a situation that I would want to volunteer for when I didn't need to.
And full circle, this is why it's irresponsible for attorneys to go out on the fucking social medias and saying this is when you can use a gun for self-defense.
I wish I'd had a Tesla for that little Wendy's incident, because you would have had a real good view of exactly what happened with those side cameras. And then you could tell me all the points in the video where you think I could have shot this guy.
You could have done it there. And that's the thing, right? Like you lived, you're alive, you're telling us the story. So obviously, had you shot him, it would have been all unnecessary.
Right. So, and I'm just thinking now about like, if I had decided to shoot from inside the car, I would have had to put my gun like directly in front of my daughter's face and shoot this guy through the window.
Yeah. That's why I said like her trauma level would have been fucking high.
Yeah. Tell her like, cover your ears.
Cover your ears.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious, dude.
So, and man, this jury thing too is like, you have to understand it could be something as simple as what time of year this happens, where you have a backlog in the court system. And like, there's so many influences that can go into a DA's decision to charge or to not charge. And you can't predict these things. You know, who can foresee a little bit better than anybody would be your defense attorney, who is from the area and has some idea of the rhythms, the pitfalls, the incentives, the relationships, the judge, the potential jury pool, all that stuff. And that's why you want to have that in your back pocket. When I say that, I mean, you know who you're going to call, and you know how, you have some idea of how you're going to pay for it. Even if that's like whipping out the credit card, that you know that if you needed to come up with $5,000 tomorrow, that you could do it somehow. Or if you have one of those legal plans or whatever, that you know who to call and you have some idea how you're going to pay for it, that you have that available when you need it, but you try to not need that in your life. From our own experience, I can tell you, inviting an attorney into your life gets expensive real fast,
real quick.
And even if you end up not even getting arrested, you're still going to pay the price to some degree, whether that's cash money. Like, it's possible. It's in fact, it's likely that if I got arrested, I would lose my job, even if I was later on found to be no charges or
Dude, I'm honestly surprised you haven't already
I
lost
know,
your
me
job.
too.
And it's not even that you suck at your job, according to you. Um, you're not the most public human,
Yeah, but I could be less public.
but you could definitely be less public. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm risking. I would be risking a lot the moment I decide to pull out a gun, and I think most people would. If you don't have any, if you don't feel like you're risking anything, then maybe you should focus on building a life that is worth keeping, or maybe not. Maybe you just want to, float around and walk the earth like Jules in Pulp Fiction. So, um, but yeah, so these things happen. Like. There was an incident a couple years ago where I saw two guys fighting, and um, I saw one of them pull out a knife, and I was like, "Oh, this is about to get bad." But there was no part of me that thought that I should get involved in that. Like these two homeless people fighting over drugs are not worth my life, are not worth my time, not worth my
Gotta start taking bets.
expense. Yeah. Well, I could have done that. I could have pull out my little notebook and like flick my pencil and like, who's got 50 on this guy? Um, what I didn't do is I didn't pull up my phone and take a video, which that part I kind of regret. So,
You
uh,
fucking fucker.
but uh, but interestingly, minutes before I saw that fight happen, I was sitting at an intersection and there was a guy acting very erratically, and I'm sitting at a red light, and he gave me vibes that if I managed to accidentally provoke him in some way, that he would get very hostile very fast. He was just giving off, the unstable, crazy vibes and looking for a problem. And he was also walking right in front of my truck when he was doing it. So I was like, wow, this could get interesting if he decides to get aggressive. It's also really stupid for him to be standing in front of my truck doing something like that, because I could run him over and I wouldn't even feel it. So, but like I got that. That's that when we talk about awareness, paying attention to the important things. And if somebody's giving you those vibes that they are dangerous and that things could potentially go bad, you do need to start ramping up in your head. Like, what am I going to do if that happens? How am I going to escape the situation, or how am I going to put myself in the best position to defend if I need to?
One of the things we should do maybe for next podcast is just this will give us some time to kind of study this. When does it become defensive and enter into offensive? Right? Because
Yeah.
I'm seeing the signs. I don't think I have a way out. I think a fight is inevitable now, because now it's entering into like, how am I going to kick his ass? How am I going to shoot him? Where am I going to go? What's my cover? What's my conceal? Because it's no longer defensive.
So
It's now you're entering into this like, oh fuck, I didn't want to fight. I am still going to be I'm not gonna start the fucking fight. But I think there is a definite moment that I was talking about, the time where a dude reached for my gun and actually grabbed the gun and tried yanking it out. This was in the middle of a brawl. This wasn't a surprise. We were trying to control about 2,000 people who were um in a brawl. They were not all
was
2,000
this
were
the
fighting.
gay rodeo or just the
No,
regular
no,
rodeo?
this is just a regular rodeo.
Okay.
So I would say a solid 100 people out of 2,000 were fighting each other.
That's awesome.
So now you're trying to control, and it's really more, you're trying to protect the other 900-ish people that are not fighting. So the 1,900 people that are not fighting, you're trying to like kind of protect from the 100 that are fighting, and more so just trying to get people to a safe place more than anything else. Avoid people getting weapons out, because that'll hurt. We did not give a fuck about the people fighting.
Mhm.
Like, we were not trying to get people to not fucking fight, but like do it somewhere else. No knives, no any of that shit.
Yeah.
But there was this clear moment where it's like, it's not defensive. This is purely offensive at this point.
For you mean?
For me. Yeah, for me. And everybody that was working that day, this is purely offensive. Because now we're strategizing on what the fuck to do, right? So we're on the radios, we're like fucking moving this way, do this, do that. Now it's a planned, organized attack on how we're going to solve this fucking problem. This is no longer surprising, chaotic. Initially, it was like, oh fuck, there's a fight. But even that you kind of seen brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, it was like, I think there's going to be problems right now, but you can't do anything because there is no problem. That's the shitty part. There is no problem until there was a problem. But even then, your brain's already like, I think this group right here, although right now they're not doing anything, it's just this weird vibe, I guess. Another stupid fucking word in 2025.
Yeah.
So like exploring that idea of when people defend themselves and they say, oh, well, in my defensive fight, I was like, yeah, but like, I think you crossed into offensive.
So yeah, we should explore this more. I would say one part of this is like, did you ask for this or not?
Yeah.
You know, because you might make an offensive move.
Yeah.
But we would still say that you were defending. And we can, think about this and maybe come up with some examples or maybe some videos where we're not like definite offensive, definite defensive, but maybe some in the middle where like how do we consider this from a training point of view, and how do we also consider it from a moral point of view? Or maybe not, instead of the word moral, just, is this worth it to you, to in general, the royal you, is it worth it to you to do what you're about to do? And I think one of the core things that we have to think about with this is like, what is the nature of a surprise, and how much surprise counts as defense?
Correct.
And how much counts as offense? So yeah, that's a good one. I'll try to find some videos that kind of explore that a little bit. One of them comes to mind, and we probably can't even well, I don't know if we can show it or not, but a lot of people saw this video when it came out, where this guy was going to pick up his kid from his ex-wife's house or whatever, but he had problems with the new husband, and they started yelling at each other, and the new husband brings a gun out onto the porch, and the ex-husband is not deterred by this, and the new husband ends up shooting him and killing him. But the guy that got shot, he wasn't doing anything. He was just yelling. He didn't even raise his hands, as far as I remember. The guy was basically using the "you're on my property, I can do whatever I want to you if I feel like you're trespassing" or whatever, using the proverbial Texas code for self-defense.
Yeah.
But that wasn't self-defense. You got a problem with somebody, arguing with them with a gun in your hand, you're doing something wrong.
You little bitch. You little bitch.
But that's one of the things that makes self-defense so complex when it comes to domestic situations, where you have previous relationship, you have all this built up anger, stress, fear, frustration, all kinds of things go into that, and it gets real. That's what makes it so ugly, I think. So all right, cool. Well, what else we got? We're almost to our normal 2 hours. We got the comedy show. We lost our comments. Oh no, he's back. Oh, look at that. Right on time. You too. Appreciate that. I don't have a holster, but I think you said you have lots of holsters. I have lots of holsters. Lots and lots of holsters.
We have all the holsters. Now we've got holsters for you to borrow. Most of them
bring your sunscreen.
Bring the sunscreen, windscreen. I hope it's not windy. That's what I'm worried about. Is
it supposed to be?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
But first off, I appreciate the $5. Super duper appreciate that. But yeah, I'll have a holster for you to borrow. Not a big deal. this is just a general thing. Bring belts. Belts are a little bit more difficult because they're not as universal as holsters are. Because human shapes are not as universal as holsters. So, but I do have a belt that you can borrow. I'm sorry, a holster that you can borrow, holster that you can borrow. But yeah, we've got the comedy event. Stay tuned for the very strong potential of the cornhole tournament. And this is all for, at the end of the day, to raise money, to raise some funds, help us out with the concealed carry classes, and also with our mental health initiatives here in the state of Colorado. So yeah.
Right on. Right on. Kaiser Gaming YouTube, I hope you have a great time on Saturday, and that your instructor just makes you feel so good about yourself. We haven't talked about that for a long time, but we've talked about it before. It's like, oh, I had a great time. My instructor, he made me feel so good.
What I do wrong? You liar? It's always weird when I have students who outside of classrooms are generally cool and we get along, and then in class I have to yell at you.
Oh, like my mom.
It's that one's kind of easy though, because like you know them, but it's still a more anchored relationship.
Yeah.
Um, but when it's like an acquaintance, a student
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool student, they're a pretty cool human, and then all of a sudden you have to fucking yell at them.
Yeah.
There was one or two that fucking friendship or acquaintanceship or whatever
Over.
did not over. Yep. Fucking over.
Yeah.
Quick.
I've been pretty fortunate. I've had a handful of people that I know have showed up to the range, and you know, I've said what I think I needed to say, but at the same time, like, they didn't take it personally or anything like that.
You
So
shouldn't. You
yeah.
shouldn't. That's not, it's not a personal thing. It's not yeah, it's there's no emotion at the range. We're just there to get better. We're
Yeah.
just there to get better. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for the people in the chat. I appreciate it. So there's a time to go offensive, but I'm not sure what it is. Dude, show up for the next one, because I think we're going to need some more of that, breaking that down a little bit. So
for sure.
All right. Awesome. I got nothing else.
Awesome. Very awkwardly just end the classes and the podcast. Like, all right, I guess I'll see you some other time. I always feel like I should leave like fucking cab fare on the nightstand.
I'm not paying you for what you did. I'm paying you to leave.
I appreciate you guys.